Okay. Yeah. Monitor and adjust. Sunachi. Well, Chuvranja. Manghwa. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Okay, this is our last but one lesson. We're winding up next week. Sijonjo? Yes. Yes. I think it's everybody. Is it not every? Huh? I didn't. So did you not? She said you should do that. You should. No. Yeah, Montessori. Are you doing that? You should do that. Give me next week. However, we have the second one. Yeah. Nani ndazinga? Five. Yeah. Are the other assignments ready? I'll be around. I'll be in which class? No, somewhere there, down there. Yeah, and my candidate in room 1. Yeah. Yeah, provided you are done. So you should be done by next week. Okay. So that was it. And I was talking with her about our dear people who are on online. They have not received their assignment 1. Ikunenedwa ndi ya second. Yoyamba ija, she was included. Sylvia Mbewe. Oh, because so I was giving the same grade, it means I'll just give her the grade. Okay, now we have 3 people, if not 4, 3 people. Sylvia and Sylvia and yes. Then she wrote the year observation of the child. And I remember she printed it out for her and then handed over. Cynthia, before leaving, she sent me the second assignment. Yeah, second okay. Assignment. Cynthia's got no problem because she's already in the book, but these other. Of course, I was with Cynthia. Justin.
And I will talk to him. I will talk to him.
Ndinene mayina eti? Yeah. No, asakhale ekhayo. Ebi Mathala. Ebi Mathala. Ebi, is he a she or a he? I have Ebi Matanda, not Mathala, but Ebi Matanda. I have Sylvia Mbewe. I have Tinyade Zgambo. And I have Austin George. Austin George? Yeah, Tinyade. Pa group palibe. Sylvia Mbewe. Ebi Matanda. Okay. Ndia mini mkwazi wao. Do the needful so that you give me the assignment. Ena undio kuti as time goes my assignment yao apezeka. Ama taso undipatsira ku office ibo. Ngakale mochedwa. But I mean anapanga give them to me. Okay, so yeah, last week we were looking at monitor and adjust. You monitor the budget and you adjust it. I was explaining that you should have maybe your last year's budget, look at it the way it was. Was it good? Was it bad? If it was bad, you adjust or you take care of some things which were not good. So how can you do the review? You may do the review how? How can you do the review? How are you going to do the review? Monthly or? Look at your notes. Annually. So monthly, it means you can review the budget every year or every month. Okay. Now, our very topic was explaining about how we can approach budgeting and resource mapping. How we can approach budgeting and resource mapping. And we said, number one, we should approach budgeting and resource mapping by understanding the components of a budget. And there are components there of a budget. Then number two, we said, apart from understanding the components of a budget, we said developing a budget. Developing a budget. So we had a start with a baseline. Then there were things there up to our monitor and adjust was part of developing a budget. Okay. Then our third thing that we can use in order to approach budgeting is what we call? We call it what? Huh? Yes, number three. Resource mapping. That is the other way to approach budgeting. Resource mapping. Now, when we say resource mapping, what are we talking about? It's identifying and strategically utilizing all available resources. You identify and strategically utilize all the resources that are available. Now, the resources could be the human resource, the financial resources, the physical resources, and community-based resources. These will help you to support the center's operation and educational goals. Now, on resource mapping, we have said you are supposed to identify the available resources. I think I've already explained. Human resource. If we say human resource, what does human resource encounter? Human resource, you talk of the skills, the expertise, and the capacity of your members of staff. The skills, expertise, and capacity. So you should consider how these people, teachers, teacher aides, administrative staff, can be best utilized to meet the center's needs. That is on identifying available resources. A, we have got human resource. B, we have got physical resources. So the physical resources are these: the tables, the desks, these are physical. The assets such as the classroom, the block itself is also a physical resource. The playground, we take our children outside, that one is also a physical resource. Identify any underutilized spaces or materials. Now, if we go to our ground there, we should find out, is there any area which is left vacant? We should utilize that one. No land should left vacant without use. Identify resource available. Resource number 3. These are community resources. These are community resources. Explore partnership with local businesses, community organizations. On community resources, it means you have to look for partners. Local businesses, mamizi umomo, community organization or volunteers. Now we go into the locations. Community resources can provide additional support such as donation, expertise, and volunteer time. When you go to the community, you will find some additional support there, such as people may give you donations. And mamizi aja amenari ochita bwino. Even alimi achikumbe agulisa chimanga, but they've got passion for children. They can give you a donation. Ndagulisa chimanga matumbanga 10, ndiye ndagula berula zidole. That is donation they will give you. Expertise. Some have got expertise in early childhood. They will come I will help you to work. Apunsano ajandibwe yandiza wapunzise meneti mapangira ndiana. That is volunteer. Some will volunteer their time. Okay, so on resource mapping, our number 1 resource mapping was identify available resources. Available resources, we had how many? How many? How many?
1, 2, 3.
3. What are them and maybe not? Ndeboza ati anniversary kwa mbili. Ineso ni mafani zikumvesera ni kwa mbili. Yeah, when I ask, you should be answering to show that tukumvesera na kwa mbili. Mwatenga mazi mbili, paja mkumatenga mazi mkugaira class yosetu. Mwangogaira nkazi yo? Okay, number 2 resource mapping is what?
Align resources with needs.
Align the resources with needs. What would be the needs? A, you may have educational needs. B, operational needs. Okay, now let us look at educational needs. Match available resources with education needs for children. For example, if you have a staff member with a background in music, consider incorporating more music-based activities into the curriculum. That one is an educational need because you may have already a staff member. Incorporate that member into your curriculum. 2, operational needs. Operational needs. Ensure that resources are aligned with operational requirements such as maintenance, health and safety and administrative support. Tikati operation ndio ndi zinthu zochitika za maintenance, za chipatala, za safety kapena administration ndi operation imeneyo. Education zokhudzana ndi kuma class kapena za ntchito ya uphunzitsi. So we are saying that the resources should align with the needs of the center. C, optimize resource allocation. Efficient use of space. Maximize the use of available space by creating multi-purpose areas or recognizing classrooms to better meet the needs of children and staff. You should maximize the use of space. I think in a photocopier, if you have some space left idle, don't spend it like that. You should maximize the use of that space. Number B, shared resources. Consider sharing resources with other local early childhood centers, early childhood development centers or community organizations. This can include bulk purchasing of supplies, sharing training sessions or joint fundraising events. On shared resources, this means that if maybe she has a school and she has a school, but you want to buy a bale of zidole, but her money is not enough. So you come to join the monies and buy a bale. Mkuzagawana material, that is joint. You want to do fundraising, mkozaso kupangira pamozi, then you share the money. Ndizimena kukamba papa shared resource. Volunteer involvement. Engage parents and community members are volunteers to supplement staffing needs, organize events, or contribute specific skills. Volunteer events. E.g. teaching, maintenance, or gardening. So when you are doing maintenance or gardening, you may do volunteer work. People may come to volunteer. Engage parents and community members as volunteers. Mwauze makolo ndi ena onse athandizire so that they supplement staffing. Mwina mlibe garden boy. When they come, they supplement the staffing of garden boy. Organize events. Mulibe okupanga organize events. When parents come, they are involved. It means now they will be on the part of volunteering on organizing events. Number D, can someone read for us?
Plan for resource gaps.
A.
Identify shortages.
Plan for resource gaps. If there are gaps for resources, you should plan for that. Like he is saying, identify shortages. Determine where resources are lacking, such as insufficient staffing. If you have few members of staff, it means you are having a staff gapping. Yes. It means you have a staff gapping. Your members of staff are not enough. There is a gap there. Ndiye akuti mupange identify. Outdated equipments. You should also identify outdated equipments. My equipments are many anata maybe anata nchito. Zima computers zote simungakonze nkomwe. Mango zunjika chimuru. Zima desks zinachoka. We go into schools, primary schools. They have reserved a class like this one where zima table ango ziponya. You should identify such things. Okay. Inadequate funding. If you don't have enough money, that is also a gap. Prioritize these gaps in your budgeting process. When you are budgeting, mudziwe kuti kodi tindima shortage ati. Tilibe aphunzisi, tilibe mipando, tilibe zidole. Which one should we take first? You should prioritize planning for the resource gaps before you do your budgeting. Develop a resource acquisition plan. That is under plan for resource gaps. Develop a resource acquisition plan. Create a plan to acquire needed resources through fundraising. Create a plan to acquire needed resources through fundraising. Ndinanena hapo za fundraising pena pake. As early childhood centers, you should learn how to do fundraising. Grant applications, donations, or partnerships. That is number 4B. Number 3B. That one, number 4, alo abwere kunja. You should enter so that 4 abwere panja. Involving stakeholders in budgeting and resource mapping. Tinali ndi number 3, number 1, tinanena kuti ndi number 1 was understanding the components of a budget. Number 2 was, can someone tell us number 2? Developing a budget. Okay. Number 3 was what? Resource mapping. Thank you. Then we are on number 4, which is involving stakeholders in budgeting and resource mapping. So when you are involving stakeholders, what should you do? Staff involvement. You should involve, it means the staff members are part of the stakeholders, because they are saying, number 4, we are saying involving stakeholders when you are doing the budget and resource mapping. So our A is staff involvement. It means the staff are a part of the stakeholders. Okay. Collaborative budgeting. Involve staff in the budgeting process to gain insights into their needs and priorities. Teachers in particular can provide valuable input on educational resources and materials. So you are budgeting, you should involve members of staff when you are doing the budget to gain insight of their needs, because teachers are the ones who are in class. So as they are in class, they know what is the shortfall. Can you give an example of the needs of the teachers as they are in class? What do they want? Zimenako zikuzona kuti zizi ndizo soweka, so that when you are doing, you are considering the budget, you can consider that also. Can we just give an example? What would be the needs of the teachers? Chalk. If there is no chalk, it means they are having a need. If they are having no books, it means they are having also a need. So you should consider, you should have a collaborative budgeting whereby teachers can provide valuable input on educational resources and materials. Zimene zikuwa sawa because they are the ones who know about what is in need of them. Number B, we have feedback on resource allocation. Encourage teachers to provide feedback on how resources are being used and where improvement can be made. My resources akaperekedwa aphunzisi awuzidwe to give feedback on how the resources have been used, or if there is need of adding some more, apangeso zomwezo. Staff involvement, we have B. Not staff involvement, but involving stakeholders. So staff members are a part of the stakeholders. Now we are on number B, parent and community involvement. It means parents and the community are also part of the what? Are also part of the what? Parents and the community are also part of the what? Of the staff. Number 4. Number 4. Yeah, involving. Number 4. Where is number 4? So my question is, parents and community involvement. Parents and community, they are under what? They are under stakeholders. Number 1, we saw that staff are also part of the stakeholders. Number 2, parents and community are also part of the stakeholders. That is why we are involving them. Okay? So, for these people, there should be transparency and communication. Parents and their community should be informed about the center's financial situation and resource needs. If you have a need on the center, make sure you inform the community. So we are saying, as parents and community involvement, we are a part of the stakeholders. Therefore, there should be transparency and communication. So keep parents and community informed about the center's financial situation and resource needs. Don't hide them, because they are part of the stakeholders. Transparency builds trust and encourages support. B. Apart from having a transparency and communication, what should you do as parents and communication involvement? Fundraising initiatives. Fundraising initiatives. Involve parents and community members in fundraising efforts. This could include organizing events, seeking donations, or applying for grants. So, mukalebansi, whereby you can look for money. Either you do a fundraising, I don't know kuti fundraising yage mungapange yotani. Can you give an example of what kind of fundraising can you do as an early childhood center? Game day. Yes. Yes. Should pay. That is part of fundraising. Okay. Another one would be what?
Swimming.
Hey, the swimming. Are all learners conversant with the swimming?
No.
So that they compete.
Yes.
So who will pay them? Because we're involving parents. Sports competition? With who and who? Okay. She says parents and teachers. So who will pay?
Okay, it's one of the volunteers. Maybe there's something in the community. If the community is involved, then you go to them, you can gather people, or people can be found inside. Both parents who can make a team.
So the community will pay? Will pay who?
The child.
Okay.
Or maybe asking for, well, it's also, I think it's also kind of, let's say, the community, those
big people in the community. Yes. You ask them to help you. So it means when they give you money, it will be now a grant. Okay, but we are on fundraising. I was thinking that if you can maybe kupiga izitumbua, you can sell. You are doing fundraising. Mupanga, you may have a dame wedding. Tiana tikoze kukala ndi ka ujeni ka mock wedding. So you will have akuchimuna nda kuchikazi. So you have perekani there. So the money raised from there can be used for the center. Zingategete. Okay. Sometimes you can do mkozopika makeke ndikuwagulisa. Amwana aliyense akapempe ndalama amounting to so much, so that adzagule, maybe you may have cupcakes. So maybe cupcakes will start at 2,000. So anaina amakola wakozokwa pasa zambiri. Yeah. So you tell them that if you have got money that daddy gave you, you can buy for your friend. So they can buy 3 cupcakes for 6,000. The money is for the center. So when you go home, when you graduate, make sure you generate many activities on how you can do the fundraising. When you go to the village and ask them about it, you tell them we have got a school, but we are running short of this and that, and those big people give you money. That is a grant. Zamveka? But when I come to your school, you have not told me anything. I see that, hey, Anna Ukalabas George. Then I call, Mr. Lehman, are you the director of this school? Ah, yes, madam, but we're running short of something. No, I've already seen, no problem. Anyway, I'm writing a check of 500,000 right now. That one is a donation. Zomvega, chifuka simu na ndifunse. So there are 3 things that are taking place here. You may do fundraising, you may have a grant, you may have donation. Grant ndipamene mwadandaula. Tindi mavuto awawa ana kugona pansi. Okay, then I come. It means I'm bringing a grant. But ndabwera ndimazache zanano. I just wanted to see ndawerenga chikwangwani apopo that you are having a school here. Oh, a school ya twindinoyo, it is 5 years old. Okay. Ndiyo kuti ineo pamendi kuyanga na chonchija ndikuonapo koma bipali vuto. Ngakale a director sakunduza koma I have seen a problem. Then the director will say, let's go to the office where you can sign. So as I go there, then I'll start asking questions. Anano amakarabanja. Basi mimi maonera mujamwa kutumo. Yeah, ndaona kuti pamene pajapo ineyo I've been to University of Lilongwe. I know what early childhood is all about. You're not supposed to keep children like that, yeah? Basi sana nangatikana pangabanja. No, because of that I'm giving you a check of 1 million. That is a donation. Zambegere. Yeah. So number 5, monitoring and evaluation. Monitoring and evaluation. A, monitoring and evaluation. Then we have A, regular financial monitoring. Our A is regular financial monitoring. So on regular financial monitoring, we have budget tracking. Implement a system for tracking expenses and revenue in real time. So if you have a system for tracking expenses, a system that will tell you how money has been spent, this will allow for quick adjustment. Many institutions are falling down because they don't have a tracking expense system. Sadzi woti ndrama zikonongeka bwanji. Aliyesa mango torapo ngati masuku. But here we are saying implement a system for tracking expenses and revenue in real time. This allows for quick adjustments. If spending exceeds the budget or if revenue falls short. Revenue is the money coming in, Revenue is the money coming in. Expenses is the money which is sent out. Right. So we had A, regular financial monitoring, whereby we have to track the budget. Number B, financial reporting. Prepare regular financial reports to share with the stakeholders, including staff, parents, and governing bodies. Ndalama mkapanga spend, zikale report how you have spent, and report to the financial budgeting committee. Report kuti ndalama zimetana nazo techa spend motere mpaka apa. If you don't report, ndio kuti mina ndalama zisimina zigwise nchito mwenerera. B. My A was regular financial monitoring. My B is resource effectiveness. Resource effectiveness. A. Evaluate resource use. You should evaluate the resource use. Effectively, regularly evaluate how effectively resources are being used. Are educational materials improving learning outcomes? Kupanga evaluate kwake kukhala koteroko. Chifukwa mukhoza kugula ma learning materials, but are they improving the learning process or not? Or have just wasted some money? Are staff resources being deployed efficiently or not? Or materials are being diverted? You know, there are some I cannot call them institutions, but there are some places whereby you buy materials for the institution, for members of staff, but materials will be diverted. So Zone says, mukufunika muzifufuze, are the materials going to the right way or they are being diverted? I don't know how far true this is. Ama tukuchipatala mankwala ama pita kwina kwake. I don't know how far true it is. Are you sure about that one? Zipatala za bomu? Zipatala za bomu? Not sure. I'm also not sure. Timangomva kuti mankwala boma likagula ama kala diverted. We don't know. But that one should not happen. Even in our resource centers, if materials are bought, they should not be diverted. Therefore, that is why you are supposed to have a resource effectiveness. Mufufuze kuti kodi katundu waenda bwanji, kodi wagwira ntchito yake moyenerera. B. Our B is adjust based on feedback. Okay, you will not adjust anyhow, but you will adjust based on what kind of feedback did you have. What kind of feedback did you have? Use feedback from staff, parents, and financial reports to adjust resource allocation and budgeting strategies. Use feedback. My staff members apeleke feedback. My parents apeleke feedback. Financial reports, they should also back in the feedback so that you can now adjust your resource allocation, whether to increase or to reduce. Resource allocation and budgeting and strategies. Right. Conclusion. Effective budgeting and resource mapping are essential for sustainability and success of an early childhood center. By carefully planning, monitoring, and adjusting financial and resource strategies, an early childhood center can ensure that it meets its educational goals, provides a high-quality learning environment, and operates efficiently within its means. Securing adequate funding, okay, now this is another thing, adequate funding and covering encouraging community involvement are crucial for the sustainability and success of an early childhood development center. Diverse funding sources and community engagement not only provide financial support, but also strengthen the ties between the center and the community itself. Here is discussion on potential sources of funds and models for fundraising funds through community involvement. Okay, we have talked about budgeting kumtunda ukoko. Now we want to talk about potential sources of funds or potential sources of models for raising funds. Which way can we raise funds? Through the community involvement. Now, potential source of fund and models for raising funds. Number one is what?
Source of funds for
Source of funds for an early childhood center. Now, the first source of fund is what? Tuition fees. Early childhood centers will rely on tuition fees because that is their source of funds. So number one, we are saying source of funds. Number one source of fund is what? Tuition. Okay. So let us look at the tuition fees. How does it come in? The primary income source. Tuition fees from parents are typically the main source for income for an early childhood center. Fee structures can vary depending on the level of service offered. School fees is makazofana nete. Komanso depending on the level of services you offer. Full day versus half day programs. Can it pay the same? No. Special programs, extra time program, those will pay extra. B. Sliding scale fees. Implementing a slide scale fee structure based on family income can make the center more accessible to a wider range of families while still securing necessary funds. Sliding scale of fees. Kutsitsako. Osati ife fees yatu ndo 1 million, nga. You should slide your fees depending on the income of the parents. Okay, so sources of funds for an early childhood center, we have said number A is the first source of funds is the tuition. So we have said tuition, let's say mwana wajedwa sakuweruka msanga, them have an extra fee, the bambino. Ngati mwana sakuza mutenga, but extra fee yote apereke. If the child was supposed, nangasama lemberana kuti mwana watu aziweruka 12 o'clock. Mwachedwa, mwalo wa 10 past 12, you are to pay 5,000. Mwafika 1 o'clock, mwalo wa mndime ya 1 o'clock, another 5,000. Ndimena machitira. So all of those are some of the monies that the school has to use. Government funding and grants. Government funding and grants. First of all, let us look at subsidies and grants. Do you understand what is a subsidy?
Yes.
What is it?
It is subsidies. It is when government they certain amount of money to something. Let's say commodities like fertilizers, so that
I can't hear well. You say, what does the government do?
They pay money for certain communities so that poor people can also access, like fertilizers.
You're missing something. So that the poor people can access how?
Through paying a small amount.
That's it. Through paying small amounts. It does not mean that that thing had that amount. For example, we'll still give the example of fertilizer. We imagine, I don't know if the, how much is the subsidy as of now of fertilizer? Anyway, we can just give you an example. If fertilizer is going at 20,000, Kumbuyogo would buy 20,000, 19,000, 18,000. The subsidy thing was going at maybe it was 4,000. It was what? 4.5. It means if the fertilizer was going at 20,000, it means poor people would afford the 4.5. The government would pay the other money. What's that is makhala za ulele ai. Boma limatenga ndalama, sitingadziwa kuti boma limakatenga kuti boma ndi munthu wankulu ete. Ndiye kumene limakatenga konkomweko ndiye limakatenga ndikuzaika pa subsidy budget D. So that the poor people can manage. So it means boma limapereka about something like 16,000. 15 to 16,000. But humbalili don't say. So that is subsidy. If we say subsidy, that is what it means. Amount of money is paid. It means bottle of water at 1,000 kwacha. So it is subsidized, you buy it at 500 kwacha. It means the government has to pay 500. I think you understand on subsidy. I've also explained already about grants. Yeah, because we're having subsidies and grants here. Grant tafotokozera kale. Okay, so many governments provide funding to support early childhood education, especially for centers that serve low-income families to meet specific criteria. So this could include operational subsidies, capital grants, or special grants for targeted programs, e.g. literacy, health, and nutrition. So when you have these programs, the literacy programs, the health and nutrition programs, the government will come in and pay some money so that inuwe muna muzingo punzisa. Another, I don't know if we can call it a subsidy, but it's just an explanation about the government. If you have a school, maybe a Roman Catholic school, just for an example, you have a Roman Catholic school or a CCP school, but on that school, you have teachers of the Boma. Sini menezima kalili, mamizu umumu, Kachisa primary school, ndiya Roman Catholic. Koma akulipira phunzitsi ndinda Boma. You see? Pamene popo mene zuyende, right? Ndiyo kuti Aroma ndi Boma akuthandizana. It's not subsidy, koma ndizintu in an early childhood center. Boma can chip in and say, tizi kulipirira ni aphunzitsi amene mwalemba. Mumvese, right? Aphunzitsi anu, they will be paid by us. Right. So, public-private partnership. So you may do private-public partnership. You may do public or private partnership. Some early childhood centers can benefit from partnership between the government and private entities. I think in the zone you may do partnership with your fellow private, or you partner with the government. You partner with your fellow. If I have a school, I partner with her because she has got a school. Sometimes I'll say, no, I'll not partner with her. I'll partner with the government. Private or public partnership. So we are saying that some early childhood centers can benefit from partnership between the government or private entities, where the government may provide funding while the private sector contribute resources. Mwamba, the government is providing funding while private, private early childhood center, I am contributing expertise. Ndiri ndaphunzisi. Koma aphunzisi aja akwalipira ninda aboma. The government is providing funding, I am providing expertise or additional funds. I think chimene chafotokozereka bwino kwambiri. C. Philanthropic donations. Philanthropic donations. Let us look at what is philanthropic. A. Individual donors. Individual donors cultivate relationship with individual donors who are passionate about early childhood education. This could include parents, community members, or local philanthropists. Do we know a person who is a donor but is a philanthropist in Malawi? Someone muntu ochuka kwambiri. Muntu mmodzi? Sim Malawi. Thompson Mpinganjira could be, but this one is not a Malawian. He's concerned with children. What does Thompson Mpinganjira do? If I say what, it means I want one. Yes, I want one.
He built a cancer center.
He built. But don't you know this person? The one I'm talking about? The one I'm saying is concerned with children, but is not a Malawian. We are talking of people who can give money. Again? Mese? He's not a Malawian. Muntu huyo is not a Malawian. Nde Mese Matola ndi Malawi? Ndi Malawi? Si Malawi? Nkwaku? Mese? Matola? Madonna. Yes, you're telling the truth. Madonna. What is her name? Mese? No.
The name of the child.
Yes, she took the child Messi.
She has David and Messi.
Yeah.
The hospital
is given by herself is Madonna. Yeah. Do we know her face? I don't know which is. Dina again the Madonna done. Because we only know her that she's Madonna. We don't know if Madonna is the first name, Madonna is the second name. We don't know. But it's Madonna. You are correct. Sure, Madonna has got passion with children. Ndiye tukulena pa philanthropist people. People who have got passion with the children, who can give money, power. Look for those people.
Madonna is a first name.
First?
Her name is Madonna Louise.
Think on? Tick on? Thick on? Huh?
Madonna Louise Saicon.
Louise,
yes.
Saicon.
She's 66 years old.
People were saying that she married David.
No, I think her biography says that it's her children. There's Messi, David, Loco, and Laudis.
Anakatenga sokwina.
Yeah, I think Anakatenga, because all of these children are
Ali munzina landa.
Garabana Yolembo, David Banda, Messi James, Loco Richie, and Lord is Leon.
Now, are these children hers?
No,
Eh?
she adopted them.
So when you adopt,
They are hers by paper. Biologically, they are not her kids.
now when you adopt, do you change the names? Or you don't?
Some do change their names. Depends on the age they have been adopted. Like if David and Macy wanted, they were taken at the young.
Yes, David was young.
They could have changed their
David was young. He was taking a boy like this. David was young. Even Messi,
very young.
they were young. So if you got open zero early childhood, it is zero when a child is adopted. Because we may adopt, kuma centers kwa tukuja. Akati pasa. She was saying that her aunt works at an organization whereby kids that are thrown, they take care of them. When they take care of them, do they keep them or they send them to other people who want them?
Also took some from Malawi.
She came to pick others.
Stella and Estelle.
Stella.
And Estelle. She actually uses Estelle, not Esther.
So how many are there? Malawians?
4.
All of them?
David,
David.
Macy, Esther, Estelle.
This one is Esther.
Yes, but then she uses Estelle.
She says Esther.
Yeah.
Kwako? Kuziko la kunjago?
America.
Esther.
This one and this one. I'm not sure. Palina we another girl from Zomba.
Palina from Zomba.
Yes,
Mzungu indila.
This one is Billie Eilish, Ndoipa, a friend to Madonna.
Okay.
So this is Estelle and this is Stella.
Where's David? David anakula kwambira anabwera tu pacha.
Anabwera ukanika nina president. Yeah, they are twins. See? This one, the biography says Madonna and her twins daughters Esther and Stella, 11, in returns in Malawi. She was currently in Malawi with the twins.
Kale amafika. We don't know panopokoma. Anakafika. Yeah, she's a donor. We are talking of donations, She is a big donor. I once worked with Home of Hope. Akabula Madonna timasha kuziwa kuti ditapulumuka. Ndi donor wampamvu. So as an institution, look for such people. Kuta kuthandizeni. People talk things. People talk. Like for her, people talk. Amfuna mange chani kaya ukoko anasiya ka maybe chifa chako yankula because of politics, we don't know, but that is it. So such people like Madonna is a philanthropic donations. These are philanthropic donations. So a philanthropic donation is an individual donation. A donation, an individual donor. Like Madonna is an individual donor. Then the zina lage losizo kala sobu ino Madonna. Donor. Okay. So cultivate relationship with individual donors. Mwamba, you should cultivate into a relationship with such people who are passionate about early childhood education. Madonna is passionate. Madonna is passionate. This could include parents, community members, or local philanthropists. It could be anyone. Mumamizumu alimu antu ena anakula, but they have passion. Okay. On philanthropic donations, we also have corporate donations. Corporate donations. Engage local business and or corporations that may offer financial support as part of their corporate social responsibility initiatives. They may do that in kind. They may give in kind. What do we mean when we say, I'll give you in kind? What does it mean? The donation will be done in kind. What kind of donation will be this?
I think in exchange of something.
Are you exchanging? Then it's not a donation if you're exchanging. You are receiving a donation in kind. What is it?